Welcome to Alpha Centurion. I'll be your guide. Today we're going to be doing a supplemental to the Council of Trent. As it mentioned, the Augsburg Confession. The Council of Trent has shut down. They took a break because they felt that they were being ineffective. And they won't pick up again for 8 years. War had broken out. The Augsburg Confession is going to be used as kind of the excuse of why they are stopping. So let's look at what the Augsburg Confession said and what the Augsburg Confession is. These notes are by me, and the Augsburg Confession that I'm looking at is the one that was published by Crossway in the Creeds and Confessions ESV translation Bible. And let's just get into it. So this was originally presented in 1530. The version I read was based on the 1580 version under Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor. Its authors, or at least its major influences and contributors, are Martin Luther and Philip Melanchthon. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Given the majority of the credit in the Crossway intro to the confession. Despite the difference in authorship, in many ways, the Augsburg Confession is the direct descendant, or at least the successor, of Martin Luther's 95 Thesis, which you may remember I read on this channel as part of my lead-up to reading the Council of Trent. The Augsburg Confession is a political, not theological, document. As the Catholic Church had chosen to address Emperor Ferdinand, who took office in 1556 and reigned until his death in 1564, his brother Charles V ruled from 1519 until 1556 and was addressed by the Protestants. Anyway, the whole point is that the Catholic Church addressed Emperor Ferdinand. The Protestants will address his brother, Charles V, Emperor Charles V. There is some trickery concerning the dates as they relate to the growing geopolitical turmoil, which played out in a hot war between nations and religious factions. Protestantism didn't start in a vacuum. There were plenty of tensions building up for years before the 95 Theses and the Council of Trent. Trent mentions the Augsburg Confession in its 15th session in 1552, right before the session suspends the council, a suspension which lasts almost 8 years. But the confession was presented to Emperor Charles V on the 25th of June, 1530. The text would eventually become the heart of Lutheranism and be part of their Book of Concord. But in its beginning, it was a wholly Protestant document asking for support from the then emperor and leniency or concessions, as they put it, from the then pope. The confession is broken down into 3 or 4 parts, depending on how you subdivide it. An address, articles of faith, articles of refutation against the Catholic Church, and finally a conclusion that is usually included as part of the articles of refutation. This is a Reformation document, political in nature, designed to express loyalty to Germany and submission to the government and rule of the emperor, as well as to show opposition to Islam and the Turks. Its major topics of concern are free will and good works as they relate to the life of the church. The address to Charles V doesn't say much, although it takes many words to do so. It claims that the reformers want Christian peace with Rome while maintaining Christian liberty, all under the sword of the emperor, which they support and endorse as legitimate worldly power. Now, I'm going to cut it off there. I know I got some editing to do, but I want you to notice that what I'm going to be doing with the Bible verses that they choose, I'm also going to try to add the line before and the line after, if not a few lines before and after as well, just for context. A lot of times what some Protestants will try to do is they'll take the quote out of context and make it as if it's saying something that it's not. So we're going to try to avoid that by adding some context back in. I hope you enjoyed this session. And hope to see you guys next time. Peace, like, and subscribe. Talk to you all later. Good night.